Are you tired of watching the same old animated series over and over again? Or have you given up on the genre entirely? If so, then Sunset Paradise might just be the answer you're looking for. If you usually watch shows on big streaming services like Disney Plus or Netflix, you might not know about the series yet, but YouTube has a bunch of good shows too. Sunset Paradise is one of the best animated shows on the platform and might have competition. It has a really interesting story, characters you'll love, and a special quality that makes it even better than some of the shows made by big companies that haven't been very good lately. The story. This series follows Maggie Spletzer, a character from SMG4, who goes on a vacation to the island of Puerto Aurora to find peace and deal with her problems. However, she gets into trouble with a criminal gang after helping the island's deputy, Ori Bori. Maggie has to go on many adventures to save the Phoenix Festival and stop the criminals. But the plot gets more complicated and dangerous as the story progresses, with serious consequences for our heroes. What makes Sunset Paradise unique is its origin story. Unlike most shows, it wasn't produced by a big company, but by two ordinary people named Luke and Kevin Ludwichigal, who started Glitch Productions. They began making funny machinima videos using video game characters in 2011, which eventually led to a whole connected universe of animated series. Sunset Paradise is one of their spin-offs that aims to attract new viewers with a simple but effective storyline. Although it might not sound exciting, each episode is only a little over 10 minutes long. Despite the short time, the creators did an excellent job of summarizing the story and fleshing out each character, especially the villains. The story of Sunset Paradise is pretty good, even though there are a few things that could have been explored more. In the first half of the season, each episode is about a different adventure in a specific place, but in the last few episodes, all the storylines come together. And there are some unexpected plot twists that change the tone of the series and leave you speechless. The dialogues in Sunset Paradise's script are the highlight of the show because jokes are an important part of a comedy series. The show is suitable for all ages, including kids. But the humor and gags are aimed more towards young and adult audiences. The show pokes fun at cliches used in the entertainment industry and everyday life. As an example of the show's humor, each episode's title is a reference to some of the greatest movies in history like The Silence of the Yams, Reservoir Cats, and The Funk and the Furious. If you're a fan of SMG4, Sunset Paradise will be 3 times as enjoyable as the spin-off dedicated to Maggie's character from that universe. Each episode also has references to SMG4 that only fans will understand, but even if you're a casual gamer, you might catch a few. The animation. Speaking of gaming, this show's animation looks like a video game. Just watch! Everything from the character's design to the animation's textures is very colorful and pleasing to the eye. At first, it might be hard to appreciate since we're used to 3D animation by Pixar or Sony Animation. However, within the first 5 minutes, you'll get used to the innovative visual style by Glitch Productions. The character movements and the background elements are well done, with enough detail to bring the world to life. The animation feels alive and dynamic, especially in the combat scenes, which are surprisingly entertaining and clever. The animation also takes elements from anime, like facial expressions and shocking moments, which is ironic because Maggie hates anime. The characters. In Sunset Paradise, the characters are the heart of the story. Maggie is the main character, a brave young woman who sometimes makes mistakes, but has a heroic spirit. She also has a darker side called Shadow Maggie that appears at the worst times and causes problems for her. Throughout the series, Maggie struggles with this shadow side of herself, but she learns that it's okay to have a shadow side and accepts it. Ori is the deputy of Puerto Aurora and the co-star of the series. He is trying to live up to the legacy of his grandfather, the former sheriff of the island. Ori's character develops over the course of the series, going from comedic relief to almost becoming the unexpected hero of the story. Ori's relationship with his late grandfather is a metaphor for people who feel overshadowed by someone else and lose a part of themselves by trying to live up to their expectations. Ori used to struggle with feeling like he had to become his grandfather, but he learned that he didn't have to be exactly like him. He could be inspired by him and protect Portoroa in his own special way, which is just as brave and important as he is right now. The villains in Sons of Paradise are really interesting, with unique backstories that make you feel for them. You might even have a favorite among them. The first villains appear are the Spudbuds, a gang of incompetent potatoes with distinct personalities that complement each other well. They're not the kind of criminals to be taken seriously, and you might even find them funny. However, they turn to a life of crime because they weren't treated well by life and had to give up their true dreams to survive. Another fan favorite villain is Whisk. She is a skilled thief who steals valuable items on the island, but she only has her skills while wearing her mask. Once her mask comes off, she becomes a shy girl who struggles to communicate. She's a fascinating character reminiscent of Catwoman. Wix's reality is that she was forced to commit crimes, and the more she did, the more difficult it became to leave that life behind. She's a complex character, much like Catwoman, with a moral dilemma that Meggie and Ori will help her solve, even if there are fights along the way. Next, the Funky Force. The Funky Force is a group of crime-fighting dancers who are full of charisma and deliver some amazing one-liners. They'll have you dancing along with them, but don't be fooled. They're actually con artists who create criminals just to arrest them and take the credit. They used to be heroes, but after the death of one of their members, Joe Fresh, they became bitter and resentful, which can be intimidating at times. But they never stop dancing! Despite the complex backstories of the other villains, there is one character who is purely evil, Sir Benedict Cumbersnatch. He may be just a living egg, but inside that shell is a real monster who uses the other villains to get the Phoenix Egg and regain his original body. In the past, Benedict had already tried to steal the mythical Phoenix Egg, but Ori's grandfather stopped him. Despite Benedict managing to kill the sheriff, he was trapped inside the egg he is in now. This makes Benedict's conflict with Ori very personal and dramatic, and you can feel the intense hatred between the two. Benedict is a villain with no sentimentality or justification. He's simply evil and doesn't care what he has to do to get what he wants, even if it means using babies. Despite this, Benedict is a captivating character who steals every scene he's in. The supporting characters in Sons of Paradise are just as funny and lovable. They all have their own gags and moments to shine as the hero, even if it's just for a few seconds. The voice acting in Sons of Paradise is all excellent, but two stand out the most are Lizzie Freeman as Meggie, Edwin Theong as Benedict. If you were to listen to Benedict's lines without watching the show, you might think they belong in a live-action drama. Edwin's voice acting goes through several phases, from a classic villain to total desperation. However, the true MVP of the series is Lizzie Freeman. She doesn't just act, she becomes Meggie. It's amazing how well she fits the character, from her ability to convey emotions to how she speaks. It's incredible that something that started as a meme became an extensive series with 2 spin-offs. It may not be a narrative masterpiece, but that's not the point. It's a fun and enjoyable experience that will make you laugh and maybe even shed a tear or two. Sunset Paradise is a breath of fresh air in the animation genre. It's the kind of show you can count on when you're tired of seeing the same things over and over again. Glitch Productions created this series with love and passion, making it a show by fans for fans. Whether you're a gamer or not, Sunset Paradise is a must-see. It has a fun story, fast-paced action, and charismatic characters that will draw you in, and a beautiful island setting that makes you feel like you're in paradise. Luke and Kevin, along with the whole Glitch Productions crew, deserve applause for taking a risk and creating something fresh in an era filled with generic content. If you enjoyed this show, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know about any Easter eggs you found and your expectations for a potential second season. And if you're a fan of animated series like I am, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more reviews and reactions. Thanks for watching, and see you later.